Welcome back. This is Bent Discipline with Lesson 6 on becoming a better dominant. Today, I'd like to talk to you about control over yourself and control over your sub. To increase her level of submission to you and your control over her, which is ultimately your objective, there's a few things that you need to do, and it starts with her having trust and respect for you. Now, how do you build trust and respect with your submissive? It's actually quite simple. By being very consistent, so doing exactly as you say you're going to do, being transparent, let her know what's going to happen prior to it happening, way in advance, so there's no surprises, and being committed to her, to putting in the time and energy that it's required in order to train her. If you do those three things over time, it takes time, trust me, she will increase her trust and respect of you as her dominant. If you walk up to a new sub and say, "This is what I demand," it's not going to work out because you're constantly going to be forcing her to submit. If you do what I'm suggesting by increasing her commitment to you, her trust and respect of you, she will be urged from the inside out. She'll want to submit to you. She will find ways to submit to you. She will crave it. So show you that you are consistent, transparent, and committed to the process. The next thing I want to talk to you about is protocols. Now, you may have seen some stuff. You may have done some protocols. It seems like that's what's expected. Let's do some protocols. There is actually a reason for protocols. Protocols are a small thing that they do on a regular basis that reminds them of the power differential between the two of you, either inside or outside of the playroom. For myself, I always have that differential. Although we respect each other as equals, I always have the power differential regardless of whether we're inside or outside of the playroom. So protocols include things like how she talks to you, where she sits. There's tons and tons of things on protocol. I'm not going to get into it. Maybe in a later session, I'll get into different types of protocol. But it's important for you to know that the protocols are not just in and of themselves. The purpose is for her to remember, have a constant reminder of the power differential between the two of you. And there's something called commitment and consistency. The example of this is having her do a small task on a regular basis to remind her of her position. This will open a door to a bigger task and a bigger task and a bigger task. And the protocol builds over time. So don't start off with the most difficult stuff. Start off with the very simple. And that leads me to my second point, which is never let anything slide. Be very consistent in your management of her. Make sure that if she's got a protocol, that she follows it, regardless of how simple and innocent it seems. If she misses it, make sure she follows it. And this goes to something that in psychology called the broken window principle, where if there's a broken window or if there's a graffiti on a building, it's more likely that crime or more windows or more graffiti will occur on that building and in that neighborhood. So it's important that you make sure that you are very consistent and you show her what you expect on an ongoing basis by disciplining her for the little things so that the big things don't get out of control. Now, if you start off small and slow and consistent, you'll be able to build more and more protocol, more and more submission from her into your routines. So that's what I have for you today. Be very consistent, be transparent. Make sure you find protocols that are applicable for your submissive and be consistent by enforcing them. Be safe.